help me with my dating life next, please.
Matt is currently looking for a girlfriend, maybe a
No.
wife. Just kidding.
You're going to get more stalkers on my case. Come on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Korea Unfiltered. Today, I have an exciting news. I almost said news anchor. New guest. I basically gave you guys like the whole premises of what we're going to talk about because yes, he was a news anchor. But I have a new guest today and it's going to be a different guest because apparently he's done something that I'm interested in. But let's welcome today's guest, Matt.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Matt, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Matthew Ambrose. I used to be a news anchor in South Korea, as we've just discussed.
Yeah.
I now no longer work in news. I'm a protocol specialist in a blockchain company. So I work in tech.
Yeah.
And I've been living in South Korea for 7 years now. So
7 years?
I'm basically a dinosaur at this point. Yeah.
I am too. It's 6 years here.
6 years. Yeah.
Six,
No.
7, 6, 7.
I think once you get past 5 years, yeah, you're a senior.
You've
Yeah.
aged.
Yeah.
You're just, yeah, for sure. I did not know you've been here for 7 years. I don't know why you
7
give me
years,
like
yeah.
new vibes.
August 2016. It was a very hot summer when I landed. I was not ready. I was not
Wow.
ready for that.
Because it's humid.
Well, the
It's
thing
not
is, like,
just
I lived in
hot.
Africa for so long, and I thought,
what
I'm
part?
ready. Yeah, I lived in Cape Town. I lived in Cape
Oh,
Town,
South Africa.
South Africa for quite a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah.
And, I was like, cool. Korea summer, whatever. No.
I love
we-
how Koreans are like, oh, Africa is hotter than Korea.
No, absolutely
not.
not.
Korea's worse.
That's very, very wrong.
Exactly. They're always
very-
like, they call Daegu Tepica?
I used to live in Daegu as well.
Do you think it's as hot as Africa?
Honestly,
Yeah.
some days are hotter.
Really?
Some days are hotter.
Because I just find it to be way hotter than, because I'm Kenyan. I have never seen Korea to be like less hot than Kenya. It's
Yeah.
way hotter
Yeah.
and humid.
Korea has this thing with this weather where it just flips between two extremes. And it's either extraordinarily cold, minus 17 degrees in winter, and then you get to like 35 degrees, 100% humidity in summer, and you're just dying. Now, Singaporeans, you don't get to wear in here. We know it's hot. We get it.
I have yet to be to Singapore, but I have heard it's quite.
I've got like a Singaporean crew of friends.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, do they find Singapore to be even hotter than Korea, or?
Oh, yeah. I think so. As far as I know, like
Ew,
Singapore is
that has to be really
hot.
gross. Because even in Korea, I'm already like, it's so gross when it's hot here.
Yeah, no, apparently Singapore summer. This is what I hear. Like,
Oh.
yeah, it can get quite hard
Wow.
to deal with.
Okay. I don't think you mentioned where you're from.
Oh, so yeah, Switzerland.
Oh.
So I'm a Swiss South African citizen. I
Yeah.
got dual citizenship.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've spent my life in lots of different places.
Yeah.
And
You're the second Swiss person to be on the show.
not the
Yeah.
first.
No, you're not the first.
Wait, am I the first
You-
South African then?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'll
you
take
are
that.
the first.
I'll take that. That's fine.
Are you? But how did you end up from Switzerland to South Africa? Like, was it your parents?
Well,
that
that was the
immigrated?
whole parents thing
Yeah.
that eventually got us there.
Yeah.
And really just a lot of time in South Africa, but we grew up with a very Swiss family. Like my
Yeah.
mother made sure that we kept our roots as
Oh,
much as
that's
possible.
nice,
We would
yeah.
always celebrate Swiss Day.
Yeah.
There was always Swiss cheese in the house.
Day. Oh,
Mom,
wow.
Switzerland has a thing about its cows.
Yeah.
So my mom just freaking loves cows and cowbells, and there was always like these little cow dolls and little mascots everywhere, and anything
so
cow themed my mother had. Like if there was a cow themed
cute.
spatula, she had to buy it.
That is so cute.
I mean, it's adorable. I mean, it
Yeah.
made shopping for her birthday like super easy. It was like,
has a
oh
cow
look.
on it.
I
My
mean,
mom.
this is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
But she would love this kind of stuff, so we would just get her anything cow related. So we kind of kept with our Swiss roots. We also
Yeah.
went to an international German school in South Africa in
okay.
Cape Town.
Okay.
And of course, we were German-speaking Swiss
Right,
because we got like
right.
these 4 different regions, 4 different languages.
Right.
So we came from the German-speaking part.
Yeah.
And then at some point, we went to the German school, and there were other Swiss people there, Austrians, Germans, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
some people from the UK. what were you doing there?
That's an interesting mix.
Yeah, I don't know why they were there. They didn't belong.
The shade.
Sorry, my dad's from the UK and I just throw shade all the time. Oh, Brexit? What? God.
You know, it works because he's from the UK. You're just like, ugh.
I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I'm half English, but I reject that. It's like,
I don't want that half.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah. Oh, and how did you end up coming to Korea? From all
Korea
that?
was interesting.
Yeah.
So I was in South Africa, did school, did university, and during university, found a whole bunch of like Korean friends who were in my class. And they were,
okay.
I don't know, like they're just cool guys. And I thought, I didn't really think anything about it. At that time, I couldn't
Oh.
tell you the difference between like, Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans.
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about Korea.
Yeah.
And I just saw these guys who were just having a ball. And I
Yeah.
thought, they're the back of the class crew. I want to join the back of the class crew.
You don't want to be the front of the class?
No, I used to be the loser in high school. And I thought, you know what? It's university, new time, new me.
You can make a new image for yourself.
Absolutely. Nobody knew who the hell I was except one guy.
Exactly.
And I was like, no, you stay away. Right?
Just be like, I don't
You
know
don't
you.
know me.
I'm making a new image for myself right now.
Right? As far as
Yeah.
you're concerned, my name is Alex.
Literally.
So
Yeah.
I joined this crew of
Yeah.
guys, and they were a lot of fun. The thing is, like, I was like the only foreigner,
Foreigner, quote unquote.
quote unquote. Like, I'm in South Africa. Come on, I was the only foreigner in the Korean group.
Yeah.
And they could all speak really good English. They've been there since like childhood as well. Because
Yeah.
most Koreans in South Africa, their parents are missionaries.
Oh yeah,
It's a
that's-
big thing.
Yeah, even in Kenya, they're mostly
And
missionaries.
yeah. Korean missionaries in Africa, everywhere.
Yeah, they're like this. with
they-
Africa.
yeah.
They love South Africa.
Yeah, well, they always get sent there, but also
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity for them to like learn English because English
That's
seems to be like the lingua franca.
That's true.
In like lingua franca, sorry. In
I wasn't gonna call you out.
no, please do call me out. I love being called out because getting a good roast on me is fine. It reminds me of my family. We're gonna get into that later as well. So the point is that I would meet with these friends, and whenever we went out drinking, because the parents were Christian, but the kids certainly didn't act like it. So whenever we went out,
Yeah.
they would go to I always called it factory settings.
Yeah.
And they would start talking. They would start talking in Korean, and I'm like,
You're just
guys,
there like,
I can't
wow.
understand you.
What are y'all saying?
So I decided, you know what? Screw this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn Korean.
Yeah.
And so I opened up a Korean app, started learning Hangul.
Wow.
The first word I learned was goyangi, like a cat.
Cat.
I
That's
thought
such a random word to learn.
I don't know. The app was a bit weird, but it got me into it. That's all.
okay.
It was the foot. It was the foot in the door,
Yeah.
really. And so I learned, and I thought, this is cool. I could speak English. I could speak
Right.
German. I could speak Afrikaans. But they're all
Oh.
like, Roman-based languages, and
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
like so off the charts. I want to learn this. 'cause
Even
this
the writing
cool.
is like completely different.
Like I can write mean shit about people and nobody will know.
Fucks.
Exactly.
Because nobody knows how to read it.
Nobody could be. They'll be like, "What's that funny O's thing over there?"
Just little lines.
the little
stuck
eong.
together.
They won't know what that is.
Yeah.
So I started learning Korean, and then I thought to myself, you know what? Probably the best thing I could do is immersion.
Facts. That is true.
So I decided, okay, I decided my first year in university, I'm
Yeah.
going to get my bachelor's,
Yeah.
do my CELTA, the like advanced English teaching degree.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right.
Oh.
And I made the resolution then and there. I'm
Yeah.
going to go to Korea in 3 years' time. So every single day that I woke up, I planned meticulously how I was going to get here. And everything went exactly according to plan.
And did you try to learn did you know anything about like the culture, or was it more just
I
the
did
language?
extensive research into the culture.
Yeah.
There used to be this YouTube channel. Loved this channel.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh my god, oh my god, they used to be so fun back
they
in
used
the
to be
day.
so fun. And
I don't know
now-
what they do now,
Oh,
but
don't go down that rabbit hole. It went
Oh.
bad.
oh, did it?
Oh, there's so much drama.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Went a bit. weird,
Oh.
Apparently. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about this. But yeah.
Watch me bleep all the names.
Please do.
So-
Yes, please.
Interesting.
A certain male counterpart.
Yeah, 'cause
went-
I used to
went-
watch
went
it.
awry.
Child. Hopefully, I don't go awry either.
yeah. Let's just say it that way. But I
Yeah.
love them, and they were very, very informative.
They
So
were
I kind
very
of knew
informative,
what I
yeah.
needed to do. So when I landed, I
Yeah.
hit the ground running. I kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, this, and this.
Right.
And it was interesting because when I came here, I came as an English teacher. So I was part of a group. I was part of the public school group
Yeah.
on Epic.
Oh, not epic.
It was lovely. And
Yeah.
a lot of people had not prepared,
Uh-oh.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But then they saw me doing stuff and they were like, oh, he knows.
Let's follow that guy.
So suddenly I had like 15 people around me and I thought, no, I don't this is not what I signed up for.
You're like trying to be part of the Korean culture, but now you're part of the foreigners because they're just
I want to
following
meet Koreans,
you.
and like I got like a whole like
All these foreigners with you.
all this huge ball and chain. I'm like, guys, I'm trying to be cool. You're ruining my vibe.
I want to be part of the culture now with you guys. So you became like the resident tourist, not tourist, tour guide, maybe?
Yeah, because we did orientation in Daejeon for like a few days. And
Daejeon is where you guys did the, wow.
we did the OT there
Yeah.
at like some kind of very popular cell phone franchise, complex that had like a training center there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where we did our orientation for like 4
Yeah.
days, 5 days.
Oh, how was like the whole coming to Korea? Was it how you expected? Was it a bit different?
You know what?
Yeah.
I will say this.
Yeah.
I was on honeymoon phase for at least a year and a
For
half.
a year?
It lasted a long time.
Oh my God, my honeymoon phase lasted maybe like 2 months.
Damn.
I know.
Well, okay, wait. Where were you based after?
I was in Seoul.
Yeah, you see, I was in the countryside.
You know
I
what?
was less exposed. I was very innocent.
Life was chill, you know.
Life was chill.
'Cause Seoul is a little
A
crazy.
little too chill. That's why I
Yeah.
left because I was so bored.
I have been to Daejeon, and I was in Daejeon maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on there.
Well, the thing is, we did the orientation in Daejeon, and then we all got shipped off to our like various locations. So I got shipped off to a small city called Gyeongsan, and it's next to
Gyeongsan?
Daegu.
Next to the Gyeongsan. I don't
Gyeongsan.
even- I know
they've got-
Gyeongsangdo. Is it there?
Gyeongsangdo is like Gyeongsangdo is the combination of Gyeongsangbukdo and Gyeongsangnamdo,
Oh.
which is like this huge region down
Yeah, yeah.
there. And so I was in Gyeongsangbukdo.
Yeah.
That's a province there.
Yeah.
And then the capital of that is Gyeongsanshi. And like it's literally connected to Daegu. It's
Yeah.
basically imagine like Incheon and
Yeah.
Seoul.
Like, okay.
Like so they're politically separated, not really geographically
Yeah.
because there's like a just continuous stream of buildings.
Right. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So when did you end up coming to Seoul then?
2 years after I got placed there, I thought, okay, yeah, I'm done here. And then
Like done with the teaching too, or just done with that?
done
city?
with that city.
Yeah.
I got really, really lucky. I found a place
Mm-hmm.
at a public school in Gangnam for the Gangnam Office of Education as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
because the thing is, they've got the Seoul Office of Education, and then
Right.
Gangnam has its own
completely
Office of
different.
Education.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how like bougie it is.
Yeah, Gangnam is bougie.
And then they had only 4 places open, and then one place opened up, and
you
I
were
was
like-
shortlisted, and I got in.
And you were like, I'm in there.
And I found
in
out
there.
2 days before I went on vacation, and I had rejected another job offer that was a sure thing
Yeah.
for a Hagwon.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I really want to try public school.
Yeah.
Because it's like way safer, and I get
I have
actual
heard.
vacation days.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was the riskiest thing I've ever done, and I got it.
And look at that. It worked.
I got to Seoul. I lived in Sonlung for like 1 year.
Yeah. Oh, Songlin is a nice
Songlin-
area.
Nice to visit, not nice to live.
Really?
Loud as hell.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why did I think Songlin was like more of a residential area?
It's a business area.
What
You know
the
how many
heck?
WeWorks they have there?
Oh.
They got like 7.
Bro,
It's
WeWorks
nuts.
is everywhere
And
these
like
days.
8 Starbucks.
What?
I mean,
2 on the same streets.
honestly,
street,
they
2
were like
Starbucks.
they were like 3 buildings apart on the same block.
Starbucks
was
is such an
it was
interesting franchise.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so you
Yeah.
didn't like living there, but
I live in Yaksu now, much better.
oh, Yaksu, it's more residential, right?
It's way more residential.
Yeah. Okay, that's. I like how you said where you live. Why don't you get a stalker?
I've had stalkers. It's fine.
Oh, me too. It's a common thing when you're beautiful, you know.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh my God, the hardship.
it's a Friday.
So you came to Seoul. You worked in a public school. How many years have you lived in Korea? Like
7 years total.
7 years total. So you,
2 years in the countryside.
Yeah.
And now, up until now, it's just all been Seoul.
yeah.
And I think it was like, because I feel like this question's coming. You're going
It's
to ask
coming.
me, when did I transition out of teaching? Is that
Yeah.
okay.
Because we need to talk about
We
your
need to
other
talk
job.
about-
Yeah.
Well, this is where COVID comes in. I feel like everyone's career in a way kind of changed when COVID hit.
It shifted a little.
And so,
Shifted
I'm
a
not
little.
going to mention where I worked.
Yeah.
I'm not dropping names here.
mention it.
No. But I
Yeah.
will say this. COVID hit, and we were all relegated to our houses.
Yeah.
Teaching online.
Yeah.
Kids were always have the cameras off. There's always some excuse, and I was really bored with everything.
Yeah.
I was already tired of teaching, and I knew I wanted to move out. And I had actually just the year before COVID came.
Yeah.
I gotten my F27 visa.
Oh Oh, which allows you to do a lot
It
more.
allows you to do a lot more. It's
Yeah.
basically the FU visa is what I call it because it means I hold my visa.
Yeah.
As opposed to other visas where they hold your visa, and if something happens, they could screw you over.
They can tell you to get out.
But I can say, oh no, and then you can just leave.
Yeah, exactly.
There are of course attachments to that, but this is not a visa episode, so trust me, don't ask me about that.
That's a rabbit hole
I'm
too,
gonna go
like-
on a rant that will take a long time.
Oh my God, I bet.
We're all visa experts, by the
Oh,
way,
yeah.
right?
I'm a
We
E6
have to
expert
be.
at this point.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
an F27 expert at this point, and I still don't know jack, actually. It always changes. So I got my F27 visa,
Yeah.
and then I was getting sick of teaching, and I thought, okay, I really want to do like the full private tutoring route because it's more fun. You make a lot more money if you get the
Right.
right clients.
Right.
And I was trying that, and it wasn't working. And COVID hit, and I thought, well, no, I definitely can't do this.
Yeah.
And every single day, COVID numbers were kind of scary. Things were going on, and so I would turn on the TV, and I would watch this particular news channel to see the latest COVID numbers in South Korea. And I was watching, and I thought, I could do that.
Oh.
It's like full, like totally unprovoked
I love
confidence
the-
came out of
yeah,
nowhere.
I love the confidence.
I was like, wait, where's that even coming from? But fine.
Yeah.
So I knew a person, she used to be a news anchor, a Korean news anchor. And
Yeah.
we're pretty tight. So
Yeah.
I said, hey, listen, how did you do this? Like,
Yeah.
what was the route you took? And she said, well, I went to a broadcasting academy in Korea.
Oh, wow,
And,
okay.
most of them are Korean, but I'm sure you could, give it a try. Your Korean's fairly okay, so
Yeah.
you should be all right.
Yeah.
And she recommended one to me. I contacted them.
Yeah.
And I did it. I was studying for my topic. I was studying for some exam at the time.
Yeah.
I did the exam, and then I said, okay, cool, I'm ready, let's go. And I walked into the classroom, and we did like once a week. And there was this Korean American guy there, really nice guy, very good teacher. And he looked at me like I was lost. And he said, listen, you do realize, number one, like the majority of my students are female because broadcasting is like 70, 80% women
Yeah, it's a lot
and
of
20%
women.
men.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a reason for that, but we'll get into that later.
Oh.
And then also all of them are Korean. He's never had like a foreign
foreigner.
guy
Yeah.
walk into his class.
Yeah.
And I think he really liked me for that. He was like, oh, no,
Because you have the guts.
you've got guts.
Yeah,
So we did the
yeah.
class. And actually we did it in English and it was for radio broadcasting.
Oh, okay.
So we did radio broadcasting because that's usually where you start. You can do TV broadcasting classes. They're a lot more expensive. I
I
thought,
bet.
listen, I'm going to go the real route.
Yeah.
And like put myself up there.
Yeah.
So we did radio broadcasting training. I got my first gig just by hunting myself.
Ooh, I've heard
wait.
of that one too.
Yeah. So I
It's
got
something, 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 guys.
Yeah. So I got my first job
Yeah.
at a radio station. And I was just doing like these little. I was doing a morning show, which I really loved. I was also doing a cultural show for a time.
Ooh, that's fun.
And then at some point, I got another offer at a more newsy place, which is what I
Okay.
wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
And they said, look, just come in. You're going to actually do an episode, but the episode will be your interview.
Oh.
Like that would be a job interview.
Oh, okay.
Right, so we're going to do a job interview, but yours is like trial by fire, essentially.
Like you're
Like,
live. But
you're
this is
live.
your interview.
And we're going to see if we haved it or not. Essentially, not what they said, it's what I
The
felt.
viewers are chiming in. Ugh, we don't like this voice. Like what?
What's that accent? Jesus.
That is terrifying. Okay.
It was, you will not believe the heart palpitations
Oh my god,
I
I
had.
bet.
Yeah, now I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, that's what
I don't care what you think of me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did that, went okay, and I got like a semi-permanent gig. I was going on twice a week, and then I got a permanent gig at that place.
Yeah.
And then literally just a few months after that, I think it was about 4 or 5 months after that, they have something called a season change. And it's called Gapyeon. That happens in a lot of industries, but
Yeah.
in the broadcasting industry, Gapyeon usually happens around like springtime and autumn time. And it can depend. If a show went over or did a lot of big changes, then the next Gapyeon, they're going to change like nothing.
Okay.
But if they didn't do many changes for a long time, they're going to do a
Change a
massive
lot.
overhaul or they just
Yeah.
cancel the show.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
And then they had a massive overhaul.
Okay.
And they said, listen, we need somebody for our TV program. That same station.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a TV division. And some guy said, listen, I really think you'll be good for this TV position. The world, I was doing news.
Yeah.
And I was on TV and I was world news.
Yeah.
And said, we think you'll be good for world news.
Yeah.
Do the interview, which was another whole process.
Oh, I
And it was even more terrifying, actually. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens. And the interview process was pretty scary
Yeah.
because I had to meet someone who was like very like stone faced.
God.
And what here was the test,
Yeah.
right? They gave me 3 Korean articles on paper, and they said, okay, we need you to read this and translate this and write this in teleprompter form as a news article that you will then do a broadcast on that we will record and view later.
Oh my God.
That was terrifying.
That sounds it's
because like you're using language skills.
Yes.
You need to make sure you translate and understand properly. Then you need to write it in something we call a
Prompter.
B-roll,
Yeah.
right? That they then upload into the teleprompter later, and then you do a live, or not live, but a recorded,
Yeah.
like news broadcast
them
of the
to
stories
watch.
that you just wrote.
That is terrifying. 'Cause it's like they're testing all your skills at once.
Absolutely, yeah. Which you know, for the
Jeez.
job, I understand. I never had to read Korean articles
Right.
actually, so I didn't understand why that came in. But
They were like,
fine.
just in case.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
guess just in case.
Yeah.
But I did have to write all of my own B-rolls. So every morning when I woke up and I got to work, I would find news stories. I would present those news stories to our directorate. I would say like, listen, these are the things that have happened in the world in the last
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah.
They would say, okay, choose that one, and that one.
Yeah.
Because I'll find like as many as I could
Right.
that were relevant,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And then they would choose 4. And then I would have to then quickly go back to my desk. I would have about an hour maybe
Yeah.
to write 4 stories. 4 stories that I would then have to send off to the editors. They would have
Yeah.
to look through all that stuff. Bless them. They did God's work really.
Yeah.
They made me sound way cooler than I was. And then I would go to the makeup room, put on everything, and then go into the studio and then go.
Not gonna lie, that sounds like a lot.
It's a lot of work. No, normally people think like news anchors, they read. And obviously they do like a little bit of research, but
Yeah.
no. Those are for like news
Excuse
anchors,
me.
news organizations with money.
Yeah, when you're just starting, I guess you have to play all parts.
Well, not only that, like not all news organizations have the budget for that.
Oh my God. Because that's what I thought too. I thought like they just kind of sit there and read. Like I thought it was more of a speaking type of role,
no,
right?
No.
I knew they do research, obviously, but I never knew it could be that extensive.
No, it was extensive. I had to keep up
Jeez.
with the news all the time.
Of course.
Like whenever I was coming home in the evening, whenever I was about to go to bed, when I went to the gym in the morning before going to
Just
the
like
broadcast station,
news.
I would be listening to like hour-long news podcasts.
Yeah,
I would listen
yeah.
to a certain news channel that I quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
But they would always have like live broadcasts at the time that I was at the gym.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I kind
you're
of knew
getting live.
I was getting live stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was on the treadmill. I'm like, oh, okay, that could be a good story.
Yeah.
So then by the time I got there, I already had at least 2
Yeah.
or 3 relevant news stories.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only struggle would be finding like number 4, because number 4 always had to be a positive or a neutral story.
It
Number
can't be
1, 2, and
anything
3,
negative.
the world is dying, and everything is depressing. Story number 4. Dog saves man drowning in a river. Yay!
Then everybody goes home feeling better about themselves.
It's like,
so
oh,
funny.
climate science says that we're gonna die in like 10 years. But hey, there was a dog lookalike contest and a Scruffy won. So that happened.
Because it does seem like they end with good news usually.
Always. My
Yeah.
favorite news story ever was the fact that they had like a gravy wrestling championship.
First of all, ew.
That was disgusting but amazing.
Oh,
I loved it. Watching that footage, I was like, oh.
just going home and gravy being all over you?
I know they had like wrestling costumes and then would jump into like this, like, like those blow up pools.
Yeah, and just wrestle
just
each
wrestle.
other. It's like,
Yeah, it was like a whole show. The funny thing is that in the news articles that I was researching,
Yeah.
they never mentioned the winner. And I was panicking because in our news things, we like to say who won.
one, yeah.
So I had no way. And I didn't want anyone like judging me. So I reached out to the Facebook group because I actually had a dedicated Facebook group. And I was in the makeup chair and I had like 15 minutes to go until live broadcast.
Who won?
And I messaged the group and I said,
Yeah.
oi, anyone, who won? Somebody actually wrote the comment and they told me who won. I said, you're an
Thank you.
angel. Thank you.
I'm going on the news soon.
I'm going on TV now.
Oh my goodness. That
I
is
love that
crazy.
person. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, I bet you were sweating. You were
Well,
just
I
like,
couldn't
oh.
because I had makeup on.
I
I wasn't allowed to sweat. I had to keep
calm,
cool.
keep calm. It seems like this job took a lot of like time in your life though. Like it just seems like you lived the news.
Yes, but I also
Yeah.
had to have another job because
What?
they don't pay you enough.
In the 7 years that you've been in Korea, what have been some hardships that you have encountered?
Oh yeah, work. I think I can say that with absolute confidence.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say when I was doing the news anchoring
Mm-hmm.
position, it was the best and the hardest time of my entire life.
Wow, okay.
Easily, it's unforgettable. I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah.
Before I continue into this, I will say this: if you want to be a news anchor, achieve it, but do not linger.
Ooh.
Don't linger.
Oh, okay.
It
Why do you
takes
say that?
it takes a lot out of you. It
It
takes a
sounds
lot.
like it takes a lot.
It's not just the energy. Imagine starting every single morning talking about school natural disasters.
That is true.
You start because I was always on the morning shift.
Yeah.
And every single day that I started, and even outside of that, when I had to keep up to date with the latest news,
Yeah.
constantly reading about all the stuff happening in the world.
Yeah.
And it's dark.
Has to take a mental toll on you.
It takes a mental toll on
Yeah.
you. It really does.
Oh, wow,
And so I
okay.
have respect to news anchors who've been in the field for like over 10 years. Like, I don't know how you do it. You've got
Yeah.
the mental fortitude that I could wish for.
I bet.
But no. So I was in the morning shift, like I said. We would start off our broadcast at 9.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm crazy, I would wake up at 2 a.m. every day. And then I would hit the gym at 3 a.m. because I had a 24-hour gym. Still do. Love that gym.
Oh my goodness.
And then when I would finish the workout, I'd be done by about 5-ish. I would
Yeah.
take the first bus, the
yeah.
cha-cha,
Yeah.
all the way to the studio. And I would get there. I'll be the first one there. And I would, while I'm on the bus, it's a 40-minute bus ride.
Right.
Open up my phone,
Right.
check all the latest news stories. I just listened while I was working out already. But then I would start writing down memos. We should do this story. We should do this story. So I'd have it ready.
Right.
Get to the office, start preparing all the templates. We have a special news software system that you have to use for that.
Oh god.
So I start preparing the templates so everything's filled in. Because the thing is, when you're writing these stories, you're racing against the clock.
Right.
Time is your enemy.
Right.
It's your mortal enemy. Something goes wrong, they might have to scrap a story.
Jeez. And you've like spent so much time researching it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to be very, very careful. So I also research the stories sometimes beforehand. So I would do that, and then people would start filing in, and then we'd have the briefing. I think at about 6, no, not 6, 7ish, almost 7ish. We'd have the briefing, and then we'd choose the stories, and then I would go. I would write, and then come close. Usually by the time I finished story number 3,
Yeah.
or middle story number 4, I would have to go to the makeup room because everyone's got a schedule.
Right.
So I had my own suits made.
Yeah.
Because the makeup room, they had like a clothing department. I'm tiny. Apparently,
tiny.
apparently, according to the wardrobe department,
Yeah.
because the smallest size they had was 100.
Yeah.
And whenever I put it on, it looked like I was wearing a dad suit. On
You're
the
like
news.
swimming in your clothes.
It's like bring your kid to work day.
Like,
Honestly,
who's this child?
honestly, the first week of news was awful because I felt like I was like, wearing a dad suit. So I went to
Yeah.
Dongdaemun,
Yeah.
and I went to like one of the guys and said, "Yeah, 7 suits, let's go."
Please give me my suits. Yeah.
And then took him to a tailor, got him tailored, and
Yeah.
everything, the
Yeah.
whole shebang. So I would have my suit on already to save time as well.
Yeah.
So I was always about like cutting the time, saving as much time as
As you
possible.
can.
So I could give all the stories as much attention as they could get.
Yeah.
Do the makeup, come back, finish the 4th story, and every single time I finish a story, I send it off to the editors. Right? I had one editor next to me on both sides. They were both really, really good at their jobs. And they have to deal with a lot, to be honest with you. And I don't think they get paid enough.
Editors look like they go through a lot.
They do.
Yeah.
Like if you have an editor, maybe don't hug them. I don't think they want to be hugged. But get them like give them a treat.
Or a raise. One or
Actually,
the other.
a rate. Thank
them
you.
a
That's
raise.
way better. Why did I say a treat?
Treat.
What's wrong with
Give
me?
them some chocolate.
And a raise.
And
And a raise.
some, one or the other, I guess.
No,
isn't
not
it?
one. Both. They deserve it. Jesus.
Give them a treat. Yeah.
I saw this biscuit and I thought of it.
I thought of you today. Here's a biscuit.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Have a Jaffa cake. Oh man. Anyway,
Yeah.
so and then we would send off the stories. They would finish it up. Sometimes also they would say like, Matt, what have you written? This is rubbish. It's true.
Jeez.
No, they would. No,
Okay.
but the thing is, they have to be harsh because at the end of the
Right.
day, think about it this way: when you're writing the news, and if you say something wrong, you could get sued. The company could get sued.
True.
If you say misinformation, now the reputation is down. And
Yeah.
who's the person who edited it? they're the last line of defense.
Yeah.
So people sometimes don't understand when editors are harsh, when editors are mean, that's why. Everything is riding on them.
Yeah, their job is on the line at that
And
point.
unfortunately, a lot of the people who I was working next to, who also wrote articles, for them, the priority was just being on TV as opposed to actually writing good.
That sounds like that sounds like a lot to work with.
So
to
like,
work around.
man, whenever I meet an editor, I'm always like, you're doing God's work.
Yeah. I hope everything goes on great in your life.
Yeah,
type of
absolutely.
thing.
You deserve the
my
best. There's a special place in heaven for you.
Yes. All the editors are chilling somewhere in
Absolutely.
heaven, not having to write any news stories or anything like that. So you were doing the news anchoring job, but you said you had a second job still.
Yes, I had
Yeah.
to do another one because I was lucky enough that during quite a bit of the time frame, I was doing radio and TV at the
Yeah.
same time. So I would start off morning with TV, and then literally I would have to go a few floors up to where radio was, and then I would just continue working there.
Yeah.
And then I'll have my evening radio broadcast. So I spent the entire day at the news station. It was
like the
wonderful.
same building,
Same building.
everything.
It was great.
Yeah.
But Gipyeon, the big seasonal change happened
Yeah.
after a few months.
Yeah.
And suddenly, like I think it was over a year, they said, "Oh, actually, we're going to revamp the entire show, and your section is being dissolved." Well, look, it happens. It happens all the time.
And then what do you do at that
Well,
point?
that's the problem, isn't it?
What?
Suddenly, because I was a freelancer,
Yeah. Oh my
suddenly
God, that's like the
revenue
worst, yeah.
dried up, and I got desperate. I needed to find jobs.
Yeah.
So I tried my hand at doing a little bit of part-time teaching
Mm-hmm.
at like a primary school, elementary school. I hated it.
Oh.
Mainly, not really the kids. The kids were lovely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was just the organization I used to do that. They lied a lot about how much money I was supposed to be getting and where I was going to be working. They lied about all of that. And I literally, after the second day, I phoned them and said, I quit.
It was that bad.
Yeah, but again, F27, I said, screw you.
You're like, I can do whatever I want because this is the visa I'm on.
They're like, oh, what are we going to do? I don't know. That's a you problem, not a
Sounds
me
like
problem. Good luck with that.
My goodness.
Like,
okay.
if you want me to stay, maybe you should be honest from the beginning.
Stop lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have actually appreciated that. I would have
Yeah.
actually tried to make that work.
Yeah.
So I left that job, and then I had another interview, and it was gonna be for teaching thing, and I really didn't feel like it because I just had such a bad experience.
Yeah. I bet.
So I decided, like, Matt, go. What could happen, right? I went there. The guy there loved me,
Really?
and he said, you know what? Actually, when I look at you, I see you doing something apart from teaching, and I thought, yes.
I see that too.
I see that too. I see.
Me too.
We are on the same wavelength. Oh my God.
You're like, yes.
So he wanted to put me in the AI department.
Okay.
And I was like, oh,
That's random.
because what they were trying to do is they were
Yeah.
trying to build an AI language teaching model.
Oh, okay.
And they said, well, we think, you could be good. You could learn on the job
Right.
and you have the experience.
Yeah.
Go for it. And
Yeah.
I thought, okay, fine. Let's do that. So I started learning a lot about AI, what they call prompt engineering, which is basically a fancy term for how to talk to an AI model. Really, like, let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And during that time, I was starting to get burnt out. You're working 2 full-time jobs. I'm still waking up at 2 a.m. every day. As soon as I finish my broadcast at 9:30 a.m., I'm immediately going to the next neighborhood
Jesus.
to go start working from 11 a.m.
Yeah.
at this other company
Yeah.
until like 6, 7 p.m.
That is crazy.
I get home, I make a quick dinner, I'm in bed by 9 if I'm lucky,
Yeah.
because again, remember, I have to wake up at 2.
2. You're barely sleeping, technically.
Barely sleeping,
really.
and I'm like putting my body through hell.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was a zombie for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
And at some point, I think I was starting to break because also all the negativity from all the news. And also, when I did that AI job, I think that guy didn't have any real idea what to do with me. Because I was like the only foreign in that company.
Oh, no.
And then they would do things very Korean, and then they'll be surprised when I didn't do it. I'm like, well,
So you don't understand it.
you do realize I am not Korean.
You're not.
So when you do things the Korean way without telling me how it's
Yeah.
done, sorry?
You're like,
Sorry, I was not born here.
Korean is not your first language.
It's not my.
It's not even your second or third
It's not even
language.
about like the language. I mean, I
Yeah.
could speak it. It's just like he would do something and then he would shift the goalpost, and then I'd be like, well, I mean, okay, but you can't expect the results now because now I'm going to have to rework everything.
Redo everything, yeah.
And
It's the pali work culture.
Yeah, and I was like, no, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
And then luckily, and this is where things get really interesting. So when I was at this AI company, our CEO got a bright idea. He's like, okay, I think I know what to do with Matthew.
Oh, gosh.
There's a lot of people in Gangnam who really want to learn English. And I thought,
Yeah.
oh boy, here we go. So he decided to start this thing called this language lounge. I totally forgot the name what it was. But essentially, it would be a lunchtime English teaching thing. So people, corporate workers who want to learn English could use their lunch break to come to our office. And then they would be taught by a native teacher, just like random English.
For lunchtime?
Yeah, well, during their lunch. I mean, obviously they can have lunch whenever they want to, but like during their lunchtime, Koreans sometimes do that. They want to learn something. We actually had some students.
Oh, wow.
And that's where things got really interesting. Because this is quite a funny story.
Yeah.
One day this guy comes in, tall, cool guy.
Yeah.
He's trying to learn English. He is the CTO of a blockchain company.
Okay.
Right? And we talk a little bit about blockchain because I had dabbled a little bit in it during COVID-19. I mean, who didn't?
I didn't.
You're very rare. You're like a unicorn at this
I
point.
am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I dabbled a bit in it. I bought some coins and then I put them in a wallet and left it there.
Yeah.
I actually got it out recently. It's quite nice.
Oh, must be nice.
It is very nice. And so we were talking about stuff and really got to know him. Very, very nice guy. And over the course of a few sessions, we talked more and more. And at some point, he asked me like, "Hey, Matt, do you want to grab lunch sometime?" I was like, "Sweet, sounds good. You're a
Great.
cool guy. Like, let's grab lunch."
Yeah.
So I went out, grabbed lunch with him, and he was joined by somebody else. I was like, "Okay, who's this guy?" And he said, "Oh, no, it's a colleague. He's from the business department." And I thought, "Oh, okay, cool."
Okay.
So we're having lunch, having a great meal.
Yeah.
Talking about blockchain again.
Yeah.
Other guys asking me random questions. I'm like, just talking about it. And we have coffee. And then, like, I think at one point, the two of them looked at each other and they just like
They're
nodded. Yeah. And then the guy said, "Listen, we have an opening."
him. Okay. Hey, by the way.
We have an opening and we think like you might be a good fit.
Oh, wow.
So actually would like to invite you to a proper job interview.
That is crazy.
That is crazy. And I thought,
wow.
don't like, I mean, the interesting thing is that at this point, I'm burnt out as hell.
I bet.
But
yeah.
I am earning 2 times salary, which is, not terrible.
True, but waking up at 2 a.m. doesn't sound fun at all.
Not worth it. Not worth it. So
Yeah.
I thought, okay, what's the worst that can happen? Let's just go for this interview. I'll go to the interview. I meet my new CSO. I meet the CTO again. The CEO is there. The guy from the other interview is there, and then another head of business development is there.
Yeah.
And we talk a little bit more about blockchain. CEO talks a lot in Korean, but I can understand most of it.
Yeah.
And then we all have like a nice chat, and then everyone leaves except, the supervisor, the guy who I would be answering to, the CSO. And we start like talking about like salary and stuff like that, and we start like going back and forth, and then he said like, okay, cool. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna take up everything here back to the CEO, and I'll let you know in 2 days.
Yeah.
If you got the job. I was like, whatever, cool, thanks, man. But in the back of my mind, I thought, I mean, come on, I'm a news anchor.
Yeah.
I'm a news anchor.
And it's just such a different.
It's such a difference,
spectrum, yeah.
And I was a very proud news anchor, to be honest. Like, it was so cool. It was a great job.
Even though you're dying inside.
Even though I was dying inside.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I think they're bluffing. I don't think this is like really gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like, I'm probably not gonna take the job. And like, I had set some conditions.
Yeah.
And I thought they're not gonna accept those conditions. No
You're
way.
like, no way from a newbie.
I was like, there is no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. 2 days later, I get a message saying, "Welcome to the team." And I thought,
whoa.
oh.
Now you're like, oh, now I seriously have to think about going to this job.
No, it's like, I think I should quit now.
Oh, because you were still going to the other job.
No, I was still doing everything. I mean, obviously, I just interviewed, right?
Oh,
and I had
snap.
I really didn't think it was possible that this was going to happen. I thought, Probably they're gonna be like, sorry, Matthew, or they're gonna give me like an alternative offer, and it's not gonna
Yeah.
be like really what I want or what I
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna reject it. And no, like they gave me
said
exactly
yes.
what I wanted, and I thought, now they called my bluff. Like now I kind of have to go, don't I?
It's not a maybe anymore.
No.
Oh my
I kind of got caught
goodness.
off guard there, and so I thought, yeah, okay, let's do
I'll
this.
quit.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
YOLO. And so
fast.
I eventually quit my news job about a month
Yeah.
later,
And what about
and
the
the AI
English?
company as well.
You also quit that. That is like crazy. You got recruited at your job.
No, I got recruited out of my job, and here's the craziest thing.
Yeah,
Here's the
yeah.
craziest thing. The new job was in the same building. Was it 3 floors apart? So here's what gets really funny. I told nobody at my AI company. I told nobody where I was going. I just said,
Oh
listen,
my
I'm sorry,
God.
but I got a better job. And they were like, oh,
Good for
we're
you.
sad to
Okay.
see you go,
Yeah.
but we understand.
Yeah.
Cue Monday.
You're in the same elevator.
Exactly. And they're like, Matt, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to work. Where are you going?
They're like, but you don't work here anymore. But you're like,
And, no,
yes,
and
I
then
do.
and then they were like, oh, okay, like I guess maybe he's gonna pick up some stuff, or he's
Yeah.
like got some unfinished business. And we get to the 10th floor.
Yeah.
Doors open. I'm like, cheers, guys. Walk out, and their faces. Oh my god.
I bet it was priceless.
It was amazing.
Oh my God. They're
Because
"Wait,
like towards
what?"
the end, me and the CEO we just did not see eye to eye.
Oh, I bet.
And like there was a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
And the company knew about it.
Yeah.
And I had some people in my team.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the CEO had anyone in his team really.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, they loved it. They thought it was
Oh,
hilarious.
I bet. Because now you probably have to see them around the building a lot.
Well, now they've actually left. They had to.
Oh, the
they
whole
had-
company left
The whole,
that
the whole company left the building into a different building
Okay. Oh.
with a really, really funny name. I'm not gonna say it though, because then I'll give away the location. But yeah,
It's probably going to be
hilarious.
too obvious then.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
That
like-
is crazy.
Yeah.
Another, like a door opened when you were literally trying to leave though.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like
The universe is interesting.
it was working on your side for sure.
Help me with my dating life next, please.
Matt is currently looking for a girlfriend, maybe a
No.
wife. Just kidding.
You're gonna get more stalkers on my case. Come on.
He lives in Yaksu.
Oh God. Yeah, I live in Yaksu, exit 24.
His building number is.
Oh God.
Jokes.
I live in a
Oh
fish
my-
market. Don't come. It smells.
Ew.
Yeah, there you go. See?
I just
No more
got a whiff
stalkers.
of it and you just said, ugh. That's so funny. But it seems like, do you like what you're doing now? Like, are you actually happy
I
with
love
what
my
you're
job.
doing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I love my job.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting. There's a lot of overlap with my old news job.
Yeah.
Because as a protocol specialist, it's my job to check out the protocols, like all the different blockchains. Because
Yeah.
there's so many, it's very difficult to keep track.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now you need to sort through all that mess.
Right.
And so what happens is we will have, because the company I work for, we provide a lot of infrastructure. So blockchains don't just run. They need infrastructure. They
Right.
need special computers, special software. They need like things to be checked. That's what we do. We don't have a blockchain ourselves, really. We don't have
Just
a coin.
checking, yeah.
We're the guys who give you the building blocks
Yeah.
to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
So companies or potential blockchains, they come to us,
Yeah.
ask us for infrastructure.
Yeah.
But we don't just give it out to anyone.
Okay.
And we don't just work with anyone because we've got limited resources.
Oh, I bet.
course.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's my job to check out a blockchain and see if they're full of it,
If they're
Or-
lying.
see if they're lying.
It's a little scam.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I'll do. I'll check who are the people on the project. You do a background check and you say, oh, wasn't he part of that big rug pull like 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe we don't go with him.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like a setup.
I check the tech. Does the tech make sense? Does it work? Is it actually solving a problem? Is it actually useful? Can we make money on it? You know, with partnerships.
Yeah.
Because obviously we need to pay salaries and stuff.
Right,
keep the
right.
lights on.
Right.
And then I'll also check. Long term, will they be something that's going to be around, or are they going to be taken over by competitors?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's very investigative, which is kind of what I had to do before anyway.
It is very investigative. That is
So
true.
yeah, I actually sometimes when I'm writing a internal report about a blockchain,
Yeah.
I can hear my editors being like, Matt, did you fact check that? I'll be like, oh wait, actually I didn't.
Like, let me go fact check.
Let me just go.
Don't want to get sued. Okay.
No,
okay.
I got like they're sitting on my shoulders all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you still wake up at 2 a.m. or has that
No.
changed?
I'm much more reasonable. I wake up at a lovely 5:30.
Oh. I wake up 5 hours later. Yay.
You wake up at 10:30?
Sometimes. It depends. Sometimes because I do edit till like 3 a.m. sometimes.
Okay, well, that's
so
different.
I'm not just
though,
like
girl.
sleeping at
No.
9 p.m. and waking up at 10. No.
I mean, that is the dream. Though.
Oh, I wish, but no. I don't. Life does not work.
The dream
like
is to
that.
be able to sleep that long, not have to go to the gym, and still like look good.
So if you're more happy with your life now, what are some good memories that you've made in Korea that are significant to you?
Oh, good memories that I made in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aside from the news anchoring stuff, because that was very cool and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I would say those first few years in Korea.
Yeah.
Because when I came with a whole group of foreigners.
Right.
And we essentially became a family in Daejeon when we did
bet.
orientation.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes on the weekends, we'd all meet up.
Mm-hmm.
And they became really close. And we would have group chats and all this stuff. And I think it also ties into the hardest thing about being here.
Uh-huh.
Is that that group of people who become your family away from home, eventually they leave. We were a group of like 40-ish people.
Well, that's a big group.
They sent a lot of people to Gyeongbuk.
Oh.
They sent a lot of people to our province.
Okay.
And so like we were a very
40
like
is
province-specific
Yeah.
kind of friendship group. We
Yeah.
did have a couple of outliers who were the exception. We like,
The
we like,
outsiders.
you're good enough. You can come in.
You can join us.
Yeah, you may join.
Yeah,
Where you at? Oh, like, you know, Chungcheongbuk-do? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
Yeah.
like, you're cool. And so we would have all these meetings, and now I think our group has been reduced to 4 people.
From 40 to 4?
Nope, I was lying. 5. Sorry.
40 to 5?
Including myself, yeah, 5.
Now you excluding yourself. He's like, I don't care.
I live on an island. I'm my own man.
But 5 people is very, very small then.
It's hard now.
Yeah.
And it actually sometimes gets to me, to be honest with you. Like,
Really?
because those are people who've known me for a very long time in Korea. And there are moments where I find myself being a little bit emotional.
Wow.
And I miss
okay.
them. I miss.
I bet.
It was the first few years in Korea. I'm sure you can relate to this. At least for me, it was a very, very innocent time.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're learning so much about it.
Yeah.
You just here to have fun, man. You're just having fun.
Yeah.
You're carefree.
You're seeing the good in everything.
Yeah, like let's go to this cafe and that cafe and that cafe.
it's
Let's go to
exciting.
Noraebang. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And
It's so
now
exciting.
people are like, let's go to Noraebang. I'm like, let's not. Let's
No,
not
thank
do
you.
that. Let's not go
Yeah.
to a cafe. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
stay
God.
home.
Yeah, I have work to do now. Yeah. Oh my God, that's true.
And it's just, I live for that time of innocence and being carefree. And my only worry was being able to catch a bus back to like my mini hometown.
Yeah.
And now I live in Seoul and I'm older and I need to think about the future and
It's hitting you now.
It's hitting and my friends are not there anymore and they're doing their own thing.
Yeah,
And it's terrifying actually.
it is.
Very
Do you ever get terrified with like making new friends? Because when you make friends who
no.
are foreigners in Korea, they tend to leave, right?
I'm never worried about them leaving, like, because that's
Yeah.
life. It moves on. I'm pretty sure at some point, most likely, I'm also probably gonna go. At
That's
some
true.
point.
Yeah, yeah,
And I've got very specific conditions for that.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy to get into, but
yeah.
I'm
yeah,
pretty
let's
sure.
get into it.
But to answer your question,
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of making friends.
Oh,
Ever.
okay.
I'm a very extroverted person.
Yeah,
I think you can always learn from each other.
that's true. That's true.
And so, also, even if people leave, you now have a friend in that part of the world.
That's true.
So
And
if you ever go to
that's
that part
so
of the world,
true.
you're like, oi,
I know you.
guess who's in town?
That is
Let's
true.
go.
Oh my God. I think that is the most exciting thing about meeting people from different countries in Korea is, you'll have somebody when you go to their country now.
Yeah.
Like even their family is there,
I mean, I've made friends with a lot of people. And also I do this thing, like whenever because my family's still in South Africa. And every single time I go there once every 2 years during the summer.
Yeah.
And I actually make my plan open. I say, everyone, I'm going to go to South Africa from this day to this day.
Yeah.
This is my overall schedule.
Yeah.
You can opt in any point.
That is crazy.
You can come. If you've ever wanted to see South Africa
Yeah.
and you want someone
This
who
is
knows
the
his way
time.
around, free tour guide.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And so I actually had that happen to me.
Yeah.
When I was still teaching at a school, 3
Yeah.
of my female colleagues came with me because they'd never been to Africa. They were
They're like, "This is the
3
time."
Korean women.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were like, let's do Africa. And I thought, you guys are awesome. Let's go.
Let's go to South
took them
Africa.
to Namibia.
Well, oh my God, I want to go to Namibia so
We went
bad.
skydiving. You could see the like the desert dunes.
Yeah.
And then the Atlantic Ocean in front of you.
Oh my God,
It
I wanna
was
go so
picturesque.
bad.
And then
I
we
bet.
went camping underneath the stars.
Yeah.
My cousins live in Namibia, so they took us out there. We were like barbecuing lamb.
Oh my god! Listen,
It was.
I just got a Namibia contact. That is one of my like destinations.
I'm
that I
going to
wanna go.
Namibia again this December or like January. So if you want to opt in,
Don't tempt me. I'm
I'm tempting you
it.
right now.
He's like,
On this
I am
podcast, you
tempting.
heard it from me.
Listen, I really like Namibia. Looks absolutely.
It is gorgeous.
beautiful.
It's so nice.
And I feel like it's such an untapped place for most people. Like,
Yeah, I think most people don't really know to
Yeah.
go there. They don't think to go there.
That's
it's the
true.
oldest desert in the world.
that is true.
It's beautiful.
The desert looks absolutely beautiful. Oh, I might.
You might.
You know, I don't know.
Let me know. I mean,
I might
open
just-
invitation.
I might just hop in.
But
yeah.
conditions to leave, going to that. I think I basically set this up for myself where
Yeah.
I'm willing to leave in the next few years.
Yeah.
That I haven't really given a year on that. But honestly, my whole thing is I know I will definitely leave if
Yeah.
I have a kid.
You wouldn't raise your children in Korea.
I would raise my children maybe up until like middle school,
Oh,
max.
okay.
And that is only, I mean, if the wife pushes for it.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want my kids to spend their full childhood in Korea because, in my opinion,
Yeah.
that is not a childhood.
It's terrifying how they're raised here.
It's not even that.
Yeah.
It's just the environment.
True.
I mean,
You've been
grew
a
up-
teacher, so you've seen it.
I've lived it. I've
yeah,
seen it.
you've seen it.
They're not kids. They're not. They're robots
No,
at some
they're not
point.
kids, yeah.
And I remember when I was their age, like
Oh my
I
God,
would
the fun times.
the fun times.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm gonna come home, skip my homework because who cares? And
doing that.
I'm gonna play cricket in the street
Yeah.
with like this tennis ball that's been half chewed to pieces,
The fun times.
and we're gonna make like wickets out
Yeah.
of these old like lampposts. Like, come on, like that's awesome.
That's a
That's
childhood.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I literally have friends who have kids who are like 3 years old and they already have 3 academies they're going to.
Yeah, what the hell?
And
Why
I'm
are
just
you
like,
going to
that
an
is
academy?
a baby.
That's a child.
I know, and I'm just like, why? But she's like, because she has to go to an international school and she grows older. But I'm like, she's only 3. You don't know the trajectory of her life yet. But
This
the mom
is-
is like, she has to. It's not a choice. She has to go.
The reason why I would want my kid, like, this is assuming I have a Korean partner.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open to dating anyone. Assuming I have a Korean partner, we
Yeah.
have a kid.
Yeah.
Then I would want them to also be in touch with their roots.
Of course. Of
Because
course.
I was, my opinion, taken away from Switzerland too soon.
Yeah.
I would have liked a little bit more of the roots there.
Yeah.
So I would want them to like have memories of Korea and know what it is to be a Korean.
Of course. Yeah.
And then move abroad and also know what it is to be a person who is international.
yeah. Yeah.
And has the flexibility to deal with people from all walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've met many Koreans. Koreans, to me, sometimes they're afraid to talk to me.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're
'cause they don't
afraid
know what to do.
interact with me.
Yeah.
They don't know how to react.
Yeah. Some of them do.
And it's just like, I don't want my kid to have that.
Yeah.
I can talk and meet with anyone.
Yeah. And not be like scared of it.
And I'm not afraid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I want that for my child.
Sometimes like being like too sheltered is not that good, especially
not
in this
great.
day and age when there's just so many different types of people living in Korea. But yeah, I do see some kids who like stare at me, but like they stare at me in like a scared way. And I'm just like living my best life. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, you sheltered your child a little too much then.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
really they really coddle the children
Oh, they
here, and it's
do.
bad.
Oh my
in my
God.
opinion, I'm
And
sorry. Like,
it's not even like I have friends, Korean friends who have children, and even I see it, but I can't say anything
No,
because
you
that's
can't.
not my child.
You
But
can't.
yes,
You're
you
not
can't.
allowed
First of
to.
all, because they will literally tell you it's none of your business, but also because it is none of your business. It's not my child.
I was about to say, like,
Yeah.
is it our business
It's,
now?
it's not.
Is it our business?
I'm not a
now? It's
mother.
not.
I have a cat. I don't have a child.
Listen,
so
if your child grows up like socially stunted, not my fault.
that's a you problem, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I have seen it too. And that's another thing for me too. I've always thought what would make me leave Korea, but that's another thing too. Like I can't
What
see
would
myself.
make you leave Korea?
For me, it would be like family wise, like marriage wise. I can't see myself getting married in Korea for some reason.
Honestly, I've always had this notion. Again, what if I have a Korean partner?
Yeah.
I've always had this thing of like, okay, cool, we're gonna do whatever you guys call a wedding here.
but that's
factory, rinse, repeat.
It's
Whatever.
literally
It is.
factory. It's the most boring wedding I've ever been to. Oh my God. Thank God somebody shares the sentiment.
No, thank you. Like,
It's the most boring thing ever.
it's so weird to me.
Oh
It's so
my!
weird.
Everything is so meticulously planned that you can't have fun.
When I go there, I'm not going there for the ceremony. I'm gonna go there to say, "Hey, congratulations!"
And
Anyway,
give you
I'm gonna get some food.
and give you the money, but that's it for an hour.
I'm there for the food.
Yeah,
I'm there for the food.
And I'm just like, that's not a wedding. Especially being from Kenya, where a wedding is supposed to be like you interacting with your guests, dancing, having fun, and then you come to Korea where you're just like looking at them getting married for an hour, and then you go home.
Yeah, no, that's
it.
not it. Hey,
Yeah, it's not well for me. It's not a wedding. But their traditional weddings are really fun. I don't know why more
I've
couples.
never attended. I've never had the honor.
Yeah, I've only watched, but it looks like more participation going on.
Yeah, no. I think a guy I know, he
Yeah.
had to be like one of the walkers, like one of the bearers, and
Yeah.
his friend made him do it.
Yeah.
So he was very like disgruntled. He was so upset that he had to do that.
But it was part of the wedding, though.
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
Yeah, but that's another thing, and also kids. I just no.
So like I was
No.
saying, like if you know,
Yeah.
Korean partner,
Yeah.
they could do your wedding, but
Yeah.
then I'ma do our wedding, like
The wedding.
the wedding, like the actual wedding. I don't, whatever it is you guys did, like fine.
You
We
guys
could have just
wedding?
just honestly done some fireworks and some paperwork. Like that would have been better.
Literally.
It
Just go
would've
to the
probably been cheaper.
courthouse. Yes, because
It's so expensive here.
1 hour and it's so expensive.
Did you hear about the bride tag thing?
What's a bride tag?
Oh, this is good.
What is
this
that?
is juicy.
Okay.
All right, I heard about this recently because
Yeah.
one of my friends got married.
Yeah.
And she was actually
Bride
she was one of my co-anchors actually.
Okay.
Very, very cool person.
Uh-huh.
So we were talking about stuff and someone told me, normally, obviously there's lots of photos
Yeah.
and videos and pre-ops
Yeah.
that you use for the wedding stuff. Very,
Yeah.
very Korean. And so when you want to, a lot of women, they rent a dress
Right. That's true.
and they will also take photos in that dress.
Mm-hmm.
Dresses that you rent have been used. No, okay, obviously, and they've been
Yeah.
washed.
Yeah.
we
It's
hope.
rental. Oh, we do hope.
We hope
we
they've
do
been
hope.
washed.
Yeah.
But obviously, they have to change stock
Of course.
and they have to buy new dresses.
Yeah. Yeah.
New dresses means tags.
Uh
They
huh.
tags on the dresses.
Uh huh.
Renting a dress is very expensive.
Of course.
It's double the price if it
It's a
has
new
a
dress?
tag. And so women will go, some women, not all the women, obviously,
Oh my
they will go out of their way
Yeah.
to find a tagged dress. And then they will pay that premium price.
Yeah.
So they have the honor of filming and photographing the occasion of them snipping off the tag. Dead ass. I am not joking.
What?
This is an actual thing.
Snipping the tag that you're still gonna return that dress
You're
after
still going to return the dress.
because it's not your dress. Wow. The wedding because it is an industry at this point. The wedding industry is so interesting in Korea.
It's going to die at some point. They don't have enough babies.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this wedding industry. I'm like, there's going to be a carcass at some point.
Soon it's just gonna be a hobby for
Yeah.
the girls to go to the bridal shop and just start
Enjoy.
cutting
Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at all these wedding venues. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you guys going to do with this building? Because
Lit-
at some point,
Nobody's gonna come
no
down
one's
the
gonna
aisle.
come here.
Yeah,
I guess you could make a nice funeral hall.
a very
don't know.
a luxurious funeral home.
I think they'll have
or
a
something.
buffet. Wow,
Nobody's
this went
getting
dark.
married.
This went so
No, but
dark.
that's true though. Even some couples that I know now don't even go down the aisles. They just get married in the courthouse and call it a day. 'Cause
Honestly,
it's so
I would prefer to
expensive.
do that and then use the money on a honeymoon or
Yes.
something. Like, why? I don't care who comes to my wedding. I don't even care if my family comes to my wedding. I'm sorry.
Literally.
Sorry,
well,
Mom. I love
dang.
you.
Okay, not literally to me. He said it.
I said it.
I didn't say it.
I said it.
I want my
Look,
parents.
my
there.
mom is gonna have so many weddings anyway.
Yeah. Oh, do you have a lot of siblings?
Oh yeah, I've got like 7 sisters and 8 brothers.
Okay, your mom's fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
She's fine.
She's gonna have a problem with grandkids.
Oh, damn, that's a lot of kids.
That's a lot. Well, hey, I mean,
You should tell your siblings to come help the population in Korea.
you know what?
They
Listen,
need help.
I love my siblings. I do. But you don't want those genes. You don't want those genes here. No.
You're like,
I know
let's keep them there.
I'm gonna roast myself. You don't need those genes here.
Let's keep the genes there.
Mm.
Is there anything that you wanted to say that you feel like you haven't said yet?
Who am I addressing?
Your viewers, I guess.
I guess what I would say to, and this is something I've been thinking about a lot.
Yeah.
It's something I say to, I'm addressing foreigners here. Yeah, there are 2 things actually.
Yeah.
Number 1, you will always be a foreigner here. You've said this on the show.
Oh yeah.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
I am offensively foreigner. I used to try so hard to
Yeah.
like fit in, And after 2 years, and that's 2 years too long, I realized it's not going to happen. And you know what? That's a good thing. Because now I'm so foreign that Koreans do not know what to do with me. And it is the most entertaining thing I've ever seen. The people, like the Koreans who are worth being your friends, they're going to love you for being a friend.
Yeah.
They're going to just love you. And the Koreans, like, who cannot deal with you, I mean, they filter themselves out. So it's fine. Most of my friends are foreigners now because of that. And you want to know what? The quality of my friendships and relationships just 10x.
Amazing. Skyrockets,
The other thing I would say is Korea is an amazing place to level up. If you want to get better at life, the competition here and the industry and the landscape here is going to force you to get better at everything, especially if you want to move outside of teaching. That being said, come to Korea in your 20s and 30s, stay no longer. That's my hot take. Don't stay after like your 40s or so, because honestly, at that point, you have squeezed the lemon and you've gotten the drops out as much as you can.
That's probably
get out.
true. Yeah, that's probably true. There's just so much you can do as a foreigner in Korea.
Yeah, there's only like at some point you will hit your plateau.
Yeah.
And at that point, like you're kidding yourself if you're saying that you're here to like improve. No,
You've done
you're just
everything.
here because you're too comfortable to leave.
That's true. Oh my gosh. Living in Korea is very comfortable.
It is.
It gets very comfortable.
Story time.
Yeah.
Broke my phone cover yesterday.
Yeah.
Ordered a new one. Arrived
Came the
that
next
evening.
morning?
Arrived that
The
evening.
same day?
Same day.
See, comfort.
And I was like,
Do you want to leave
do I want
that?
to leave Korea?
Do you want to have your phone case come 2 weeks later, Matt?
Like, I don't know.
Have a bare phone for 2 weeks.
Maybe.
It is very comfortable. That's so true.
know.
Sometimes I do have to tell myself, like, stop getting comfortable.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Is that all that you wanted to say, or is there
That
anything
is
else?
all I wanted to say. I love Korea. I do. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
But 7 years of hardships condensed into like just an hour makes it sound like I don't like Korea.
Yeah.
I
Oh
just
my
want to
God.
put that disclaimer out there. I love Korea.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The question was hardships, so
Yeah.
Thank you for answering
Yeah, of
truthfully. And also, you've been here for 7 years, so truthfully speaking, you have to love a place to be there.
Yeah,
for
I mean, I wouldn't.
7
Like, if I
years.
didn't like it, I wouldn't be here.
You would have left. I would have left too.
I don't need to be here.
Literally, you have like other choices, but you're still here, which means you do love the country and you do love staying here. But anyways, guys, that was it for today's episode. Thank you so much, Matt, for coming.
Thank you for having
I
me.
enjoyed our conversation. You did make me a little apprehensive on the news anchor thing, though. I'm rethinking that.
Yeah. Look again.
I'm
If
just
you
like,
want to, if you want to achieve it, go for it. But I just, like I said, don't
It's a lot.
linger.
But anyways, guys, that was it for today's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends if you are a YouTube viewer. And if you are a Spotify or Google Podcast listener, make sure you give us 5 stars so we can, up in the algorithm, innit?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also make sure you do subscribe, because a lot of you, like I think 80 to 90% of you guys are not subscribed. Y'all is just stalking the channel but not hitting the subscribe button. Matt, tell them to subscribe.
Please subscribe. Pretty please.
Please.
Subscribe.
We'll give you a treat for subscribing, like Matt said.
Wait, like another biscuit?
We'll give you guys a biscuit if you subscribe. But anyways, guys, that was today's episode with Matt. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys.